Greetings to everyone into this truth, both new and seasoned. And in today's video I'm going to be touching on the biblical months, the name of them and the order of the months. If it's one thing we know for certain, truth speaks volumes. Now, the months in order biblically goes like this. Nisan, also known as Abib, is March and April. Iyar, also known as Siv, April to May. Sivan, between May and June. Tammuz, June. Av, July. Elul, August. Tishri or Ephanim, September. Heshvan or Bul, October. Kislev, November. Tevet, December. Shevat, January, and Adar, February. Now, as you might notice, instead of 12 months, there's 13 months. So before the introduction of there only being 12 months, plus the Gregorian calendar, we see that there were 13 months. And there's a video on my channel where I do a deep breakdown on the biblical months in stages and how it evolved. And in saying that, if you want to watch it, I'll leave the link in the description. And I highly advise that you do, as I break down the biblical months and its evolution, and you can get a greater understanding on what it is that I'm talking about. On top of that, get to know the names and origins of the name of the months within the calendar today. So continue. Abib, which is the first month biblically, was the name of the first month before the children of Israel were taken captive by the Babylonians, which was said to be around 586 BC. This is nothing more than an estimation, I may say. So the Hebrew month names changed was Abib, Ziv, Ephanim, and Bul. These were Hebrew names. The remaining months shown are however still the names from the Babylonian captivity, when in Hebrew it didn't have specific names. They were just called Hodesh, which means month. For example, you have Abib, Siv, then the third Hodesh, the fourth Hodesh, the fifth Hodesh, as there wasn't any names given from what I've researched. Like any rulership, once you're taken into captivity, you now start living under the banner of the rulership of that nation or of that country. So the language of the Babylonians was Akkadian, which is a Shemitic language. Now let's go to the word of the Lord thy God to confirm the months. Esther, chapter 3, starting from verse 7. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast Pur, that is, the lot before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Nisan in the Hebrew, as we already established, means the first month of the Jewish calendar, corresponding to March or April. As we said before, in Hebrew, the actual Hebrew name for it, as I stated before, is Abib. But like you see here, this is when they was taken into captivity, and so the month got changed, which is Nisan. And in the same text, it highlights that the 12th month is Adar. Nisan comes from the Akkadian word Nisanu, but the origin goes back to the Sumerian word Nisag, which means first fruits. And the word Adar derived from the Akkadian word Adaru, meaning dark or cloudy, which is associated with the end of the winter. Now, Exodus chapter 34, starting from verse 18. The feast of the unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt. Abib means from an unused word, meaning to be tender, green. Example, a young ear of grain. Hence the name of the month Abib or Nisan. The first month of the Jew ecclesiastical year, corresponding nearly to the Gregorian, April. after the Babylonian captivity, this month was called Nisan. Now going to 1 Kings chapter 6, starting from verse 1. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziph, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of the Lord. Ziv is the name of the 2nd month in the ancient Hebrew calendar, corresponding to the modern months of April and May, which derive from the root word meaning brightness or splendor. Esther chapter 8, starting from verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at the time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, and it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. So Sivan derived from Akkadian word Simanu, meaning season or time. Sivan is the name of the 3rd month in the Hebrew calendar, corresponding to the late May and early June in the Gregorian calendar. Tammuz is the 4th month and is mentioned once in the scriptures in Ezekiel chapter 8, starting from verse 14. But in the instance was speaking of the Babylonian deity, but this doesn't associate with the month in the Hebrew calendar. Tammuz is the name of the month in Hebrew, as we already established, corresponding roughly to June, July. In the Gregorian calendar, it is also associated with a Babylonian deity by the name of Dumuzi, who was a god of fertility and agriculture. Nehemiah chapter 6, starting from verse 15. So the wall was finished in the 25th day of the month Elul, in 52 days. Elul derived from the Akkadian word Elulu, meaning harvest or to gather. Now the month Elul typically falls between August or September in the Gregorian calendar. And for those who may be confused as to why the months are not fixed, and when I say that, for example, Abib, it says is between March and April. Why is it not fixed in March, or why is it not fixed in April? Like the modern times now, you have January, and the January the 1st, you know for sure that January is going to be the New Year's. It's because during that period of time, they went off the moon cycle. So the new moon would signify the start of the year. So the new moon could arise on the 15th. And if it arises on the 15th of March, then that would be the start of the new year. So in saying that, the New Year period would either be in March, whether someone observed the moon from the March times in order to detect whether it's a new moon then, and some people may detect it in the April time, whether to detect it's the New Year then for them. So in saying that, they correspond with each other, and whether it's in March or April for you should be completely fine. And for those who are not really too aware on how the lunar moon cycle works, I have a video on my channel breaking that down. I'll leave the link in the description. 1 Kings chapter 8, starting from verse 2. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month. Ethanim derived from the Hebrew root word Ethan, meaning perennial or ever-flowing. 1 Kings chapter 6, starting from verse 38. And in the 11th year, in the month Bul, which is the 8th month, was the house finished throughout all the parts thereof, and according to all the fashion of it. So was he 7 years in building it. Bul in the Hebrew calendar refers to the 8th month, which in the modern day calendar is around October, November. Now, Zechariah chapter 7, starting from verse 1. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius that the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the 9th month, even in Chislu. Esther chapter 2, starting from verse 16. Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. Some of the months are not mentioned in the Bible. However, we now see the chronological order of the months and the names biblically in its entirety. So to give a quick run through once again, Nisan, also known as Abib, falls between March and April. Iyar, Siv, falls between April and May. Sivan falls between May and June. Tammuz, June. Av, July. Elul, August. Tishri, also known as Ephanim, September. Eshvan, Bul, October. Kislev, November. Tevet, December. Shavat, January, and Adar, February. I hope I was able to edify everyone in this video today. Stay safe and stay blessed.